What's up? It's your girl Killer K, and I'm back with another video.
My new bitch look like Tyler Berry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch fun like Jackie Brown. I wanna love her, she too down. Will you be my leading lady? I want a contract down low, maybe.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about tricks and sugar daddies and the truth about it all. And I'm going to just give y'all a little free game based off of things that I've experienced when it comes to tricks or sugar daddies. So if you find this information helpful, then cool. If not, keep on moving. I'm really just here to give y'all what I got. And that's just really what I'm here to do. Like, I feel like I've experienced certain things and I've been around certain people and I've seen so many different type of men throughout my life when it comes to the strip world that I just feel like, and not even just the strip world, outside of that too, because I've met, generous men outside of the club as well. So it's just like, you got to know what you're dealing with at all costs. Okay, that you have your tricks and you have your sugar daddies. Tricks are more so the guys that you meet inside of the club. They're typically the scammers, the drug dealers, the bad boys, or just men who are like not well endowed. Those are typically tricks. Those are what the girls or the strippers call, easy money. Sugar daddies are more so, you don't have to be in a club. You could be a girl who works at Target and find a man who really wants to take care of you, wants to sponsor you, wants to change your life, wants to elevate it in a major way, not just have sex with you and give you a small nominal fee. Sugar daddies are the ones who are really going to invest in your future. They're the ones who are going to pay the big bucks. So if that's what you're looking for, then I'll explain more about them. But for more so in a strip club, it's a lot of tricks, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Tricks are tricks for a reason. They're really tricky to navigate around because on one hand, you might think you have a great trick and then he ends up slowly dwindling down his money after you guys have got, intimate on more than one occasion. Like, they'll start off giving you a large amount of money. Then the more times you guys start to get, bumping and grinding situations going on, they tend to like pull back and give you less, and they start to bird feed you, and they start to, make you question why you're even dealing with them in the first place. From my experience, tricks are usually people who don't have a big, thing, or they're overweight, or they're not attractive, or they're like literally, just soliciting girls because they wouldn't normally get girls in real life anyway. Those are the typical tricks. Now, that you can take that with a grain of salt, because you also have men who are scammers and drug dealers and big dudes inside of the strip club who actually do have money and actually do have a little motion and do may or may not have a big thing or not, but still at the same time it's easy for you to end up liking them because they're more so your age. They're more so within your vibe. They're more so a part of the strip club culture, if that makes sense. The drug dealers and the scammers, those are the ones who are more understanding of your situation when it comes to being a dancer, so you will attract a lot of them. Sugar daddies are a bit more formal. Those are the ones who are going to give you allowances. Those are the ones who you could possibly end up being in relationships with, and they're actually going to make it worth your while. A trick could put you in a relationship too. You could wife a trick, but at the same time, sometimes the respect level is just never going to be what you want it to be, because at the end of the day, he could go do this with multiple other girls, and 9 times out of 10 he is doing it with multiple other dancers in the club. 9 times out of 10, if you're meeting somebody within the club and they want to have relations with you, 9 times out of 10 they're having these same relationships with other girls. They're having sex with other dancers in the club. They're having this same type of situation go on with other dancers. So you also have to be aware of that. Personally, if I had to choose between a trick or a sugar daddy, I would choose the sugar daddy, because sugar daddies spend more money, period, point blank. A trick could also spend money, but at the same time, I feel like tricks are more prone to get comfortable with you. They're more prone to literally display one thing and set up one vibe and then not be able to maintain that vibe down the road. So you really have to be careful, because some tricks you actually can, make a lot of money with, but at the same time, it's just like, you really don't see this going anywhere. You don't have no potential with this man, and like they're only using you for your body because they're giving you monetary gain. So you have to be aware of that. At least with a sugar daddy, 9 times out of 10, they're more older, they're more established, they're more wealthy, they know what they want. They've been around the block a couple of times to know like what you really need and what is going to attract you. So those tend to stick around more because they invest more into you. So it's just like, I'm going to opt for the sugar daddy because the sugar daddy could actually help me get to the next level. A sugar daddy could get me a car. A sugar daddy could get me a new place. A sugar daddy could like elevate my life and open my world to new things. Although he is getting something from me, I'm also getting something in return. When it comes to tricks can just give you some money and send you on about your way and then think nothing of it. They don't really care about your benefit or your gain or you getting ahead. And sometimes they really don't even want you to elevate yourself in life because they want to continue to, take from you and drain you instead of uplifting you and sending you off into greatness. I know that a lot of sugar daddies pride themselves on upgrading a woman's lifestyle. They pride themselves on, saying that they're the one who put a woman into position. So at the end of the day, I'm going to always root for the sugar daddy versus the trick. And at the end of the day, they both want the same thing. They both want some coochie, and you know that you want some money. So it's just like, which one is going to be better financially for you? One thing I hate about the strip club world is when girls fall in love with the tricks. When girls fall in love with somebody who they just were literally meant to get some money from, then cut all ties. They will go in the club and then tell you, oh, you dancing for her. Like, they will literally argue with a girl who's dancing with somebody who's your quote unquote trick. Like, they really got an issue. Like, they feel entitled as if this is really their man. Sis, if he's a trick, he's not your man. That's just what I'm trying to tell you. If he's a trick, he's not your man. If he's a trick, 9 times out of 10, he's tricking off with multiple other girls, so you'll never be the only one. So don't ever even feel entitled or crazy enough or bold enough to even address or approach or come to a woman, to another dancer about a trick, because at the end of the day, we all playing these niggas. Like, they're playing us and we're playing them back. They're using us, we're using them back. So don't you ever fall in love with no trick, ever. I don't care what the circumstances, because at the end of the day, the same way he got a trick for you, he got a trick for another one, and then the other one over there. So you don't even need to stress yourself out about it. Get the money and get out, and don't fall in love with these tricks at all. You also got to know that everything has an expiration date. Like, you could be dealing with a man in your 20s, your early 20s, your mid 20s, your late 20s. But once you get to a certain age, and this could be for a trick or a sugar daddy, once you get to a certain age, the thrill has worn off. After a man done hit you a couple of times and test drove you a few times and y'all done had situations and relations, it starts to get boring on their end. So they're going to go search for the next hottest, youngest new thing after you. So you have to be prepared for that. You got to know that all of this has an expiration date. All of the stuff that you're doing does not last forever. So keep that in mind when you have this roster of men who you're sleeping with for money, because at the end of the day, that shit will not last. And if it does last, you're not going to get the same money that you had been getting in the beginning. Eventually, the money is going to fall off. Now, the downside to tricks and sugar daddies is they use their money to manipulate you. And this doesn't necessarily have to be for a sugar daddy or a trick. This is just men in general. Men use their money as power to control and manipulate young girls, or girls who are just easily influenced by money. So you have to realize, what type of girl are you? Yes, at the end of the day, you want money and you would aspire to have money, but don't sell your soul just because a man throwing you a couple of dollars. That's just never going to be the thing to do, because at the end of the day, you get your own money without them. Yes, whatever money they give you could help, but at the same time, it's their money. It's not your money. It's not going with you. It's not in your bank account unless he gives it to you. But guess what? He has to give it to you. So it's still his money. So at the end of the day, don't be controlled by no man just because he flashed you like a wad of money, or he dangling a carrot over your head, because at the end of the day, that's low vibrational, baby. You don't want no man who wants to dangle money in your face as a way to control you and get you to do whatever it is that he wants you to do. Now, there are rare occasions where your trick could turn into your man, or your sugar daddy could turn into your man, and at the same time, it's just those occasions, if it makes sense for you, then yeah. But if it's causing you more harm than helping you, it's just use the man for what he's for, because he's using you for what you got. He's using you for your looks. He's using you for your body. He's using you for your time. He's using you for multiple things, and he's actually physically draining you, whether you know it or not. Anytime you have sex or lay down with somebody, at the end of the day, they're taken away from you. So if a nigga is taken away from you, please make sure that you're getting something substantial in return. If not, you're working backwards, babe. And I want you to know, just because a man takes you out to dinner or buys you an outfit or two or puts a little money in your pocket does not really make them like a great trick. That just means that they fed you, they bought you some clothes, and they gave you a couple of dollars. That's all that it is. That doesn't mean that you should put all your eggs in one basket with that trick or with that sugar daddy, because at the end of the day, you're worth so much more than a dinner. You're worth so much more than a couple of outfits. You're worth so much more than 100, 200, 300, 500. You're worth so much more than that. You're priceless, babe. So at the end of the day, never let what somebody is giving you be the reason why you go outside. If anything, you should feel entitled to the fact of they're supposed to be giving it to you, sis, because guess what? I am that girl. Guess what? You want my attention, you want my time. Guess what? It's gonna cost you. And it ain't gonna cost you a little bit. It's gonna cost you a lot. Always have that mentality versus being the girl who wants to get the least. Like, always be the one who gets the most, period, point blank. Never give a man more than what he's giving you, period. And 9 times out of 10, tricks are gonna literally have relationships. They're gonna be with their baby mama still. They have a whole girlfriend at home, and they're just using you for, pleasure. The same thing with sugar daddies. They could have a whole wife. They can live a whole different life that you know nothing about. So never think that you're the only one. Never think your position is safe. Never think your position is solidified, because at the end of the day, that man is using you because he's giving you something. He really wouldn't even be giving you money if sex wasn't involved. Unless he has a micro penis and can't have sex no way, and he's just like needing some companionship. But at the end of the day, he's using you for your companionship. So never ever think that your position is safe when it comes to these sugar daddies or tricks. Never. Just know that if you are going to entertain somebody, make sure it's beneficial for you. Make sure that when you get up from laying down, that you are up from more than what you started with before you lay down with that man. Okay? Like, never go outside behind these men at all. And make sure you wrap it up. Make sure you're not just out here giving your prime cooch to somebody who could mess up all of that. Make sure you're protecting yourself, because like I said, you'll never be the only one. It's always going to be multiple girls that they talk to, because when you have like LDE or little d energy, or when you are less well endowed, like, it's just like you operate in a different energy. When men have this complex, whether they be short, ugly, fat, little d, like, at the end of the day, they all are insecure about those things. So for that alone, they're going to try to make you feel insecure. They're going to try to come for you. They're going to try to make you feel like you're wrong for being this pretty bitch who deserves abundance. They're going to make you feel bad about it. And you should never feel bad about getting your coin, sis, because at the end of the day, they introduced you to this vibe. They started this situation off with money. They led with that, because honestly and truthfully, that's all that they can lead with. They can't lead without the money. If they didn't have money, you wouldn't be even talking to them. You wouldn't be involved with them. You wouldn't even look their way, and they know that. So they use their money to try to keep you locked in. Don't fall for it, sis. And if we're being real, like, let's just keep it a bug. Like, you are participating in sex work. You are participating in prostitution. You are participating in, let's just call it a thing. Like, you're literally soliciting your body for money. So don't ever think that they don't look at you like that. Don't ever think that you're just like a prize to them, because at the end of the day, in their mind, you still can't turn no hoe into no housewife. So they're going to treat you as such. Yeah, they might like you. Yeah, you might make them feel good. Yeah, they might spend a little money. But at the end of the day, in the back of their mind, you're never going to be somebody that they actually respect. You're never going to be somebody that they actually treat properly and literally just do right by, unless you catch you like a wonderful old senile man who's just looking for somebody to say that loves them. At the end of the day, you're not even going to treat them right, because you know that you don't want to be with them. You're using them at that point. You know that you're just only dealing with them for financial gain, and they're going to allow you to do it. But at the same time, you know that that's not what you really want. So keep that in mind as well. You're selling your body, so make sure you be able to sleep comfortably at night behind it. Wait a minute. I am literally watching white people jog through the hood. Like, gentrification is real. Because I see 2 white people with their little weight packs on and they jogging. And it's just like, what? Ariana, what are you doing here, bro? Like, these guys do not belong. Gentrification is real. I'm so tired of seeing these white people just be so bold and so, like, liberated to just be running their ass around the motherfucking hood. Like, baby, get out of here. I'm sorry. Yes, I am discriminatory at that point, because at the end of the day, y'all just, don't y'all got somewhere else to run at? Like, y'all got a million places y'all could be running and jogging and exercising. Why y'all coming to the hood? Like, for what? Sorry. And trust me when I say that the money runs out. You might be dealing with somebody who up, but at the same time, that money don't last always, especially when you dealing with people who like are like very lavish and very like, you know, braggadocious and very like want to be seen. Their money runs out very quickly. Like, they're spending their money on the wrong things. So at the end of the day, just be prepared for the money to slowly start to like trickle away. They're going to slowly start to breadcrumb you, bread feed you, like bird feed you. They're going to literally start giving you the least when you're still doing the most for them. I just recently cut off somebody that I would consider a sugar daddy, because on one hand, he was definitely the one out of all of the men that I have talked to who was willing to spend money on me. If I needed anything, he was sending me Apple Pay after Apple Pay after Apple Pay. If my car caught a flat tire, he was getting my tire fixed, and he was pulling up on me and making sure that I was taken care of. He bought me a new phone. He's put money in my pocket on multiple occasions. When I had my apartment, he was paying my rent on several occasions. But this went on for about 3 to 4 years. But now we no longer talk because he got comfortable. He thought that I was in love with him. And that's what you got to really walk a fine line with too, because this man literally was asking me to have his babies. This man was literally, every time we would like have relations, he was all like trying to shoot up the club. Like, no, babe, we're not doing that. Like, I can't reproduce with you. Like, you have a micro penis. I would never have sex with or have a baby by somebody who's not well endowed, because at the end of the day, if I have a son, I don't want them to be treated the way that I know that I would treat somebody with a little pee-pee. So it's just like, no, babe. And not even that, because I could work with you if you're not well endowed, because I have been in love with somebody who has a little thing. But at the end of the day, I just know that the energy is different with somebody who doesn't have a large tool in their belt, in their toolbox. I'm sorry. It's a major difference. The man with the larger PP, with the larger hammer in the damn toolbox, he's able to get away with more things than what the man with the smaller PP can get away with. And I'm just gonna say it like that, because I'm not trying to cuss and be vulgar, but at the end of the day, there is a major difference in big versus little. I'm sorry. Like, people want to make you the villain for saying that. People want to like laugh at you for like, oh, you're dealing with a man who got a big thing and he can't even do this and third. He gets a pass. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Yes, he gets a pass because he can do a professional job. He's quality, grade A. So yes, so he serves a purpose in my life more than what you serve a purpose in my life for. It's a difference, you know? Like, yeah, I can like you and love you, but at the end of the day, there's still that factor missing. So I'm going to always like be missing that other factor. I'm sorry. You can't expect a woman who has natural urges and desires to be okay with the least. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna ever be that. Like, so for that, you need to be treating me right. If you got a little PP, you need to be treating me right. If you got a little PP, you need to be making sure that I don't gotta work harder than you. If you got a little PP, you gotta make sure that you breaking me off so I don't feel like I'm just hunching on a little PP ass boy and I'm not getting nothing in return. I'm still stressed out. I'm still not having. I'm still going without. That's one thing you can't give me. So at the end of the day, every other aspect of your life when it comes to a woman should be to make sure that they're straight, because you know at the end of the day you are already working with from behind. You're already behind. You already like literally have not got a head start. The man with the big PP, he has a head start, period, point blank. And honestly and truthfully, it's just like, you have so much money to get outside of a man, And once you realize that, you will never want to deal with no trick or no sugar daddy all together. You're gonna walk into so much money. You're gonna touch so many bags when you walk in your purpose and not even depend on a man for nothing financially, especially when you know that that's what they're using to keep your interest. You're gonna attract a man that you want once you become the person that could get that man. If you want a man with like a nice bank account, with a nice size PP, with himself together and established, you have to be a woman that only exudes that and only attracts that. You have to have your shit together. You have to literally be a good person. You have to keep yourself together. You have to look like the type of girl that they would want anyway. You have to make sure that, you know, you are attracting the type of man that you want. So if you're sleeping with somebody just for money, you don't care what they look like. You don't care what their PP size is. You just want the money. But at the end of the day, that's never going to fulfill you because you're not happy. You're not content with what you have. You're not satisfied. So you're going to always end up messing up the plot, trying to go find a big dick bandit. And you don't even, you know what I mean? And you don't even, what are we doing here? And I don't know, this was just my little spill on sugar daddies and tricks, especially throughout the strip club, just from what I've seen. It's just like, at the end of the day, know your self-worth. Like, yeah, okay, we gonna do it because at the end of the day, money is money, but still, don't play yourself. Don't go outside behind these men who you know you don't want to be with. Don't be putting up with no BS just because a man got some money in his hand. Don't feel like you got to sell yourself short or sell your soul just to like provide a lifestyle for yourself or keep up with the lifestyle that you see others having. Like at the end of the day, all these girls selling cooch, all these girls got OnlyFans, all these girls selling feet pictures, all these girls are doing miscellaneous things that are outside of the norm just to say they having it. But at the end of the day, they getting used and abused by weirdos. They're getting used and abused by men with fragile egos, with little PPs who are really faking and facading. So it's just like, don't go outside. Know your worth and know who you dealing with. Get in that thing and get out that thing. And if you like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one.